Commissioner, thanks for joining us. First show of the new year. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Something has changed, and obviously, nice of the voters of District D to send you back for 4 more years as the county commissioners.
Yeah. Thank you, District D. Yes,
It's always got to be just the toughest part of your job, but yet got to be one of the most
it
rewarding
really
parts.
is. 2011, having to run for re-election, it takes a whole year out of your life. And my 2011 was kind of tough. It was tough. I had an election. I was finishing up grad school. I graduated in May of 2011 with my master's degree, and coming off of two major losses in my family. Really, really tough. It was tough. It was very trying, but I'm so grateful, man, to have not only a supportive family, my wife and my children and my extended family is just so amazing, but a number of my constituents. I can't even tell you how grateful I am. So I'm here.
All right, terrific, Commissioner. I know during the holiday you had a number of events that you're always giving back to the community. You had a terrific turkey giveaway around Thanksgiving time, and you gave some nice gifts to some kids at UMC. How important is that part of your job, the one-on-one and helping out your constituents that may be a little less fortunate?
It's what I do. It's what I do. I came into this world indigent, and it was Clark County. It was the state of Nevada that saved my life, that gave me a chance. And to forget where I come from, no matter what happens here in this office, I'm not etched in stone as a county commissioner. As a matter of fact, we have something called term limits. So I'm not here forever. But what I've been able to endure thus far as a commissioner, just as a person, a native Nevadan, no one at this point could ever take that away from me. So, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. I know November, Adoption Day, is always a very special time for you. The folks in family service and, well, the entire community does a wonderful, terrific job in fostering and adoptions. Something very near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. After I'm sharing my story about being adopted, I'm not embarrassed about it anymore. I went for years, learning as a child that I was adopted, and I was always embarrassed, too embarrassed. But now I see, as I go out and I continue to talk about it, I'm meeting so many adults that work for Clark County that were adopted. That's amazing. But I also get a chance to meet so many young people who are walking around like I was, embarrassed. And when I ask them the question, what are you embarrassed about? They feel like I did. I came into this world where nobody obviously wanted me. I don't want to be ostracized. I don't want to be different. I want to fit in. I don't want the radar on me. And I'm so grateful that it took me this long in my life, though, and I'm hoping that by me using my little platform to say to a kid, don't do it to yourself. You're special, you're here, you have a purpose, and that it's possible. You can do it. If little old me, if the people out there can give little old me a chance, surely we can give you a chance.
There's so many amazing folks in the adoptive process. Judge Sullivan, he's a family court judge. He's truly an angel. And I think he put it very succinctly this year. He says that basically adoptions and fostering aren't finding families for kids, they're finding kids for families.
Absolutely. Judge Sullivan is an amazing man. I have so much respect for him. Judge Nancy Saida, I love her to death. Dave Cavoursier is a good friend of mine. Love him to death. There are some men and women here in this community that have opened up their hearts and their homes and have just done an amazing job. Children don't ask to come into this world. Someone else made that decision. But while they're here, I believe we have an awesome and moral responsibility to step in and do what we can. And I'm so grateful that the parents that I had, the only parents that I've ever known, were equipped with tools to give me a chance, and they'll always be known as my mom and dad. Although I had the pleasure of meeting my biological parents here, and my biological mother lives here in Clark County now, my biological father passed away last year. And with all due respect to them, I thank them for life. But to my mom and my dad, the people who raised me and shaped me and molded me, that will forever be my mom and my dad.
It's very nice, Commissioner. Shifting gears a little bit, the
Yeah.
University Medical Center, the Board of County Commissioners is the Board of Trustees for the hospital. Yourself is the chairperson. Is that going to change in the future? There's been a lot of things happening as far as the advisory board being disbanded and some talk about getting some full-time folks to run UMC.
Yeah, there are some changes that will take place. And I've been extremely passionate by it, and I make no apologies to anyone about that. May have been a little over emotional, but you know, the thing that bothers me about all of this is that some of my colleagues can show passion, and to some people it just looks like they care, which, whatever. But I'm very compassionate when it comes to this hospital. I do believe that we all have a responsibility to help those that can't help themselves. And I do believe that we also have to be very responsible as it relates to taxpayer dollars. But let's be mindful and be real careful as to how we go about treating poor people. See, what makes it full circle for me is I would have never in a million years dreamed that I'd be the chairman of the board of an indigent care hospital that I was born in. I didn't know that until last year. I found out I was born in this hospital. I always went through life believing I was born in Reno, Nevada. I had no idea that I was born in this hospital. And so it's become even more special to me. But what makes it so priceless is the fact that we are the only indigent care hospital that's mandated by the state. Yes, do we have to do a better job at its oversight and how we issue contracts and how we go about spending taxpayer dollars, because the subsidy is huge. I'm talking anywhere around $100 million a year. That's a lot of money. But you can't put a dollar on life. Can't put a price tag on life. We just have to be more responsible. And so I'm saying to the commission, let's slow the bus down a little bit and let's get it right. There's a song that says, take your time, do it right. We can do it. You know, and I believe we can do that. And we're going to get there.
Okay, we'll continue to watch that. Something else, I know the coroner's inquest is something that has been a hot button issue across the entire community for decades, frankly.
Coroner's inquest is just something, you know, Randy, you've just done a great job with covering a lot of issues that we have to deal with here. Coroner's inquest is an emotional subject on both sides. It's an emotional subject on the law enforcement officer side. It's an emotional issue on a family side. Whether that family member, good, bad, ugly, the other, it doesn't matter. It's a life. And when you're asking taxpayers to foot the bill for public safety, there's some checks and balances and some levels of responsibility as well as ownership. And I think that that's what the public is really asking for, is accountability. We all at some point have to be accountable to someone. And the general public believes that the county commission oversees the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Well, that's not true. The sheriff is elected by the people, all right? And the law enforcement officers falls under the ranks of the sheriff. The only thing we are responsible for is its budget. We just kind of oversee a budget. We split that with the city of Las Vegas. But in terms of giving them directions on what to do, we don't have that jurisdiction or oversight. Coroner's inquest, we're mandated by the state legislature to put something in place to oversee that process. And I've been on both sides of the fence where I've met with both groups. And I really understand how the public feels. As an African-American man, I understand when you look at the majority of those officer-involved shootings, it's a person of color. And it's a real tough pill to swallow. It really is. When I go back in my neighborhood meetings and I listen and I hear the cry of the public, who there are a lot of people out there that fear law enforcement, and there are some good law enforcement officers out there. I'm so blessed to have two of the best police substations in the state of Nevada. The Northeast Area Command and the Bolden Area Command, I believe, are two of the best, doing some fantastic work. But having said all of that, we also had to go back and ask the public to help Metro with its budget shortfall. We're spending taxpayer dollars. So it's a check and balance.